MAJJEK Kids, and welcome to our YouTube channel. We have a super awesome, delicious bread recipe for you guys today, but before we get into that, we want to give you like a little intro on ourselves since this is our first video. Okay, so now for a little bit of background on us. I'm Abby Jo, I'm 16, I'm a junior in high school.
I'm Kit, and I'm 8, and I'm in 3rd grade.
I'm Maggie, and I just turned 12, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm JJ, and I'm 14, and I'm in 8th grade.
And together, we all make up MAJJEK Kids. We have a bunch of different types of ideas for our YouTube channel. We're 4 siblings who just love having fun and spending time with each other. So we're thinking maybe we'll do comedy skits, art things,
pranks.
Fashion, pranks, lifestyle vlogs, just a bunch of different things. And if you have any really cool ideas for videos we should do, then definitely comment down below what that idea is. Also, since we're a brand new YouTube channel, we really want to gain some subscribers to get ourselves going. So make sure to subscribe down below, hit the notification bell, and give us a like. And now, let's go make bread. So, a disclaimer, this is not our original recipe. We're using the homemade bread recipe from, I think it's called butter with a side of bread. So I'll link that recipe down below. But we're just going to show you how to make it. Okay, so starting off, you want to pour your cup of warm water into some kind of big bowl. And you want it to be quite warm because this is being used to activate your dry yeast, but you don't want it to be too hot or else it will kill it. So a 1/4 cup of white sugar goes into the water, and then you want to stir it until it's completely dissolved. So once your sugar is completely dissolved in the warm water, it is time for the star of the show, active dry yeast. So you open it up, and for this recipe, we need 3/4 of a tablespoon. We don't have a 1/4 tablespoon, we just have a half. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 tablespoon, and then about half of this half is the 1/4. So yeah, you can kind of just eyeball it, doesn't have to be exact. So then you want to stir in the yeast with a spoon. So then once you've mixed it in, you just want to let it sit and leave it be for around 5 minutes. And this is so the yeast can proof. It eats up the sugar and will grow. So yeah, about 5 minutes. It might take longer, so we'll check back then and show you what your yeast should look like once it's ready. So after your yeast has proofed, it should look something like this, or even foamier. This is after like a little bit of stirring, so we kind of lost a little bit of the foam. But if you can see, it's very puffed up and bubbly. And this actually, we said 5 minutes, which that is what the recipe says, but this actually took us 10 minutes, maybe because our house is a little bit colder. I'm not sure. Okay, so after the yeast is properly proofed, you're gonna add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So Sous Chef Kit's doing that over there. 2, 3, perfect. And you can stir that around a little bit. And then you're going to add 1/8 of a cup of vegetable oil and pour that in. So give it a mix. And then up next, what really starts making it come together is the flour. So overall, for this recipe, you should need about 2.5 to 3 cups of flour, but you just want to add it in a cup at a time. Okay, so next up, we're gonna add in a cup of this bread flour, and you can just mix it around. And you just mix until it's completely spread, and then after that's done, you can add your next cup of flour. Yeah. So then you can add your next cup. It was pretty thoroughly mixed. So we're at 2 cups right now. So next, when I'm going in, instead of going in with a full another cup, I'm gonna put about half, since the recipe calls for 2.5 to 3. And it's not exact, you kind of just want to add it in until it's a good consistency, which we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna add in the next 1/2 cup about of flour and stir this in. So this bread recipe, one of the reasons I think it's so great is you can make it all in this one pot right here. Everything stays in it, and It's delicious and it's super easy. And it's a good way to pass the time while you're stuck at home, isn't it? And now I think it's getting to the consistency where I'm gonna get ready to go in with my hands to start kneading and mixing better. So I'm gonna go wash my hands again, just make sure to stay nice and clean, and then we'll be back. Okay, so my hands are freshly washed again, and I'm making sure to pat them really dry, because if they're wet at all, like the flour is gonna really stick to them. So these are nice and dry. Kit, can you carry the flour over? I'm gonna move this over to the kitchen table since it's lower down, so it's a better height for me to start kneading. Dive in. And right now I'm not kneading quite yet, but I'm just mixing the flour in better and trying to form a cohesive dough. I just want to keep scraping the flour from the bottom and the sides and just pulling it into the dough. Okay, so once your dough is formed into more of like a cohesive ball and it's not like really sticky to the touch, then you're gonna start kneading for 7 minutes. So while you're kneading, you just wanna take your knuckles and kind of press them into the dough and just work it around. You can like fold it in half and then rework it. Sometimes like pick it up and squeeze it. And you're just trying to make all the fibers really flexible and just work everything together. So right now I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to get a little more sticky. So then I tell Kit to add some more flour. And so just dump it on. You can kind of spread it around. And just do this anytime it starts to get sticky, which it will just keep getting sticky after you mix it in. And so yeah, set a 7-minute timer and just keep working the dough for 7 minutes.
At 7 minutes of kneading, your dough should look something like this and not very sticky.
You're gonna put it into a bowl. And this is actually the same bowl we were using before. We just cleaned it out, and then Kit's gonna spray some oil in it. So after your bowl is nice and oiled everywhere, you wanna take the dough and plop it into the bowl. And then actually turn it over once to get both sides coated with the oil. Yeah, nice. And then make sure it's all nice and mixed. Then you wanna take a sheet of cling wrap that'll cover your bowl and spray it down with some oil. Okay, now mix it around so that like the whole surface is kind of covered in oil. Okay, and then you want to flip it over, oil side down, and don't put it on the outside of the bowl, but just loosely put it covering over the dough. Okay, and now that the bread is all oiled up and cling wrapped, you just want to take a towel and cover the bowl, and then go set it in some warm place. Like if you have a fireplace, you can put it there, or I'm gonna put mine by our heat register, and let it sit for about an hour to an hour and a half. It depends on how warm your house is. If your house is cold, it's gonna take longer. But one way to tell, you just want the bread to be about doubled in size. So cover it up, put it somewhere warm, and I'll see you in an hour. Okay, we're back an hour and a half later, and now for the grand unveiling. Dun, 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 dun. And as you can see, I think it's more than doubled actually. This is huge. So you take the plastic wrap. Yeah, might have tripled even. Okay, so now what you want to do is we're actually going to punch the dough down and you let it rise again. And this is my favorite part ever because it feels like clouds. Like it just feels, oh my god, it feels amazing.
Wash your hands.
Yes.
Then you get chlorine.
Oh my god, like it feels so good. So then you just knead it for a little bit.
Like a knead.
So after you take the dough out and punch it down, you want to knead it for about a minute, which I already did off camera, and then kind of just shape it into a kind of loafish shape, something that's going to fit into your bread pan. So this is the bread pan I'm using. I think the recipe recommends a 9x5. I don't think this is a 9x5, but this is what we use and it works. So shape it into a shape that's going to fit into your bread pan, and you just lay it in there, and then you're going to re-cover it again. You don't have to use the cling wrap this time. You can just cover it with a towel. And once again, put it in a warm place, just wherever you put it before. And this time you only have to let it sit for about 30 minutes, or again until it's doubled in bulk. See you then. Okay, quickly, I forgot. Make sure to preheat your oven to 350 degrees while your bread's rising, so it has time to heat up. And now for the grand reveal, part 2. So once your bread has risen about this much, it's time to pop it in the oven. Make sure, like, when you're carrying it back from wherever it was resting, don't jostle it around too much or it will deflate. So, just take it, slide it into your oven, which should be, as I said, at 350 degrees. And then cook it for about 25 to 30 minutes. So once your 25 to 30 minutes is up, you can take your bread out of the oven. And it should look golden brown and delicious like this. So one thing I love to do right as it's out of the oven is take a little bit of butter on a knife and kind of just melt it on the top. I don't know, it just makes a nice little flavor and saltiness and crunch. So spread that on, and then you can just let it cool in the pan and then remove it to any kind of dish you want to put it in. So yeah.
Smells and looks great. It tastes even better.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching this video. I absolutely love eating homemade bread, so I hope you tried out this recipe and ate it, and I hope it was delicious. If you like this video, definitely give a like down below and comment what other types of videos you think we should make. Have a great day.